Welcome back to the weather crew, and this update is going to be on the Arctic air mass and some of the late effect snow, but majority of this video is going to be on that potential winter storm. They have already, it's a lot of new information on how much we could see for Friday. We still got the rest of tonight and tomorrow to figure out fine details. Tomorrow will be my forecast. Tomorrow night will be the forecast of what I'm thinking for snowfall totals in the region. So let's get going and let's look at the models. All right, so we're going to be actually looking at the WPC winter probability predictions, and this is for how much percentage of how much we could see. So for 1 inch, I think everyone's going to see at least an inch. You can tell in the lighter blue, in the green, that darkest green that's in Massachusetts, like center, that's for 30 to 40. Other blues 40 to 50. Everyone's in that 40 to 50. The other shading of blue, 50 to 60. And then we got 60 to 70 all the way out there. And then we got 70 to 80 for New York, Long Island, pretty much everyone that you could see. And then we actually have a huge area of 80 to 90% of seeing an inch in New York City, Philadelphia, all of Pennsylvania. Besides the one little corner there, I think they should be in there too. Then you actually see a 90 to a 95% for Reading, north of Philly, Allentown, Lehigh Valley, Berks, in this red. But then you can see a red back in Allentown, Central PA, and then we actually have a darker red, more like a brown, and that's our 95% or higher. So very good confidence on at least an inch. All right, for 2 inches is pretty high too. I would say it's pretty high. Once again, Philadelphia, New Jersey, actually New York City is right on the edge of that. Parts of eastern Pennsylvania, like Reading, Philadelphia, you guys are actually under the lightest shading of the blue, and that's 70 to 80% of at least seeing two. Why they have it as more um of a percent near the coast of this area. Reason is because this is gonna transfer to a coastal low. The stronger the coastal low is off the coast, could be bringing more of that heavier snow. Latest models a bit stronger and close to the coast. That means could be more of snow. Right now, what I'm thinking is a 3 to 5 inch event, locally 6. I need to see how tomorrow and the rest of tonight goes, but I would say if you guys are, I think this is a good time to say that at least 2 inches are very likely. And a lot of these areas that are going to be seeing the most amount of snow already got a lot of snow from the other event, up to 2 to 4 inches, even some cases in Washington and just north of there was 6. But this is actually going to add on, and probably by the end of both of these storms, we're going to end up near 8 inches in spots. I do think it's definitely possible. If you got 4 inches and you see another 4, maybe even 5, then yes, definitely 8, 9 at the end of this week. But if you're a snow lover, you go skiing, snowboarding. This has been a week where you guys been dying for in the slopes. I know for sure Blue Mountain and some of the mountain ski resorts are loving out there. It's just very cold. Tonight's going to be extremely cold, so if you're going to go out snowboarding or skiing, make sure you definitely bundle up with quite a few layers because it is going to be cold. And whenever you get that wind chill, it's going to be in the negatives. So extreme cold throughout tonight, tomorrow, into next week is very possible. But then we are going to now look at 4 inches. And this percentage have went up even more. For 4 inches, it's quite a bit. Once again, eastern Pennsylvania near Philly. Is it possible, like in this area where my cursor is, to see more snow? Reason is why that could happen is because this is going to be transferring to a coastal low. And with the latest guidance, it's a bit closer and pretty strong low. So definitely could enhance those snowfall totals a bit. But Utah actually right just north of Philly. We actually have a blue here, and that's for 40 to 50%. So we are gonna see how this continues to go throughout tonight. The 18Z update on this, and it's gonna be very interesting. For actually 6 inches, and you might be like, wow, the percentage is definitely low, like it should be, but I actually was not expecting any. And they do have an area of 5 to 10%. If you guys are in the brown, that's 0 to 5%. Definitely if the low is a bit stronger, it is possible to see 6. And I think it's very unlikely as of right now. But for having them having a percent there, definitely not off out of the tables yet. All right. So now we're gonna take a look at the National Weather Service forecast. Not the forecast, the winter alerts. You can tell if you they already put some winter weather advisories for eastern Pennsylvania, New York, I think. Actually, not New York, but if you guys are in this area right here, definitely watch out for quite a bit of accumulation snow. They put the winter weather advisory in ahead because this is where they're thinking the potential best probabilities of seeing snow and the most amount. So if you guys are in Allentown, Reading, Philadelphia, Wilmington, Atlantic City, along the coast or New Jersey area, if you guys are in Morristown, Newark, you guys are not in it. Philadelphia, I think I said that. Dover, and whoever's in the pink, they're expecting 2 to 4 inches as of right now. That could go up, that could go down. If anything, I think they might make it 3 to 5 tomorrow, depending how the models continue to go through the runs tonight into tomorrow. Um, we're now going to take a look at some of the models. Her, I would say, pretty impressive right now. What I am seeing on the models, it's not going to be a large nor'easter by any means, but it's probably going to bring a good amount of accumulation of snow. And if you only saw like 3 inches when you were expecting 3 to 6, I mean, still 2 to 4 was expected on average, but for 3 inches there, this one I think could definitely be, it has more of the chance to being more, I would say. But um, you go into tomorrow, snow showers in Pennsylvania, north of Pennsylvania, New England. There's that the main amount of the low pressure is going to be developing. I mean, sorry about that. Um, freezing rain in the mountains of Tennessee, definitely in the valleys too, possible. So we get this low from Chicago and the Midwest to pretty much converge with a piece of energy to the south. How quickly does that happen is going to be a question. If it's going to happen right here on the herd, definitely more in the Ohio, Chicago area that it actually congeals. A low pressure there, definitely some light snow. We get a low to start forming off the East Coast. And yes, you see some light to moderate snow, and definitely not. We have a center low all the way back here, but we do have a lighter pressures closer to the coast. And that will strengthen, but we will have quite a few hours of snow. And why they have the most amount of snow with the percentage being in the eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey and just south. That's because of the heavier snow. Closer you get to the coast, probably on this one, it's going to be more of the heavier snows. But you tell that will be quite a few hours. We're not even fully done with this low, and we're still cranking quite a bit of snow for just 48 hours in, we probably another few hours, you already got areas up to 3 inches, 3 to maybe 4 inches in spots. So that's why the best area for accumulating snow is going to be in eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey as the low cranks. But at least right now, I would say 2 inches are very likely. We are going to have a bit of a gustier wind factor in the backside. But with that low forming, we're definitely going to have some winds up to 10, 20 miles an hour. Maybe a gust there and there up to 30. But snowy is going to be the key on Friday and extreme cold on Friday nights. So now we're going to take a look at another model, and that is the NAM model. What is the NAM forecasting with this? as of right now. Let's go back just a bit. Has a low much closer to the coast on the 18Z than the last one, but definitely congealing a little bit later. You could tell that's why it's some patches, but main low pressure, pretty much what happens with the hurt. Another one forms inland. With these two, it's definitely going to enhance the moisture fields way more back into Ohio, Chicago area, and definitely going to be lake enhancement too. But we get a light to moderate snow event. But as the low continues to try and crank, we will see some heavier, more like moderate, maybe some spots seeing heavy snow. But the Atlantic is going to be a big factor on this one. And then, quite a few hours, into midnight on Friday, maybe into Saturday morning. Then a big late effect snow event with some pretty gusty winds up to 40 miles an hour. We're looking at the total snow on this, and not the most, but definitely there for a lot of areas to at least see 2 or more inches. Bullseye at least 4 on this latest run. But if we go back with the 12Z, it was actually less and further south. And if we go to the 6Z, even less. So the trend on the NAM has been more. Trend on her model has been more. That's why I'm alarming to watch out for these trends because it happened with the last storm, and it was pretty much right. All right. Now we're going to take a look at the wrap model. Another model, you can tell low goes off the coast, light to moderate snow. We have a low pressure actually back in West Virginia in the mountains. That will slide towards off the coast, but that will definitely have quite a bit moisture on the north. Definitely some moderate snowfall rates that will continue to strengthen as it gets off the coast. But whenever how quickly that strengthens or if it's a little stronger, definitely some heavier snowfall totals are going to be likely. Total snow accumulations with the wrap, not even fully done with the storm, but I would say halfway. You already got 3 inches in many areas, 2 to 3 inches, quite a bit. New York seeing it, the Lehigh Valley, and areas like that. So for at least an inch is probably 100% at this point. I won't say 100 because you can never be 100%, but we're looking at the Euros model on this, and wow, really, nothing too much. Probably once again 2 to 4 inches. Definitely more on the less side, but at least 1-2 inches are very likely. Now we're gonna take a look at the GFS. Actually, I didn't even look. The GFS is actually coming out. So we're looking at the GFS, and less of a storm than last run. It's actually not too much better. Definitely a little bit more farther away, and nothing too much. So we have to see what happens with these runs. Certain models definitely more than others. There's the low way off the coast. Difference with the NAM and her has a secondary low forming off the coast, and that's why you get those heavier snowfall amounts. But very cold air behind it, very likely. We're looking at total snowfall with the GFS, and I mean, like I said, 2-3 inches is a very good bet right now, I would say. With all the models, Icon definitely a bit, actually pretty much saying 2 to 4 inches there too. So pretty impressive. All the global models are agreeing, and all the mesoscale models are agreeing. But we have to see: is it stronger? Is it close to the coast? Is it not? Because that's going to really depend on snowfall totals. So now we're going to take a look into Origin. 18Z is actually out, and not too much snow, on the Origin. 2 to 4 inches, but a little bit further away from the last run. So we have to see if that becomes a trend or what happens. But definitely some light accumulating snow, but it definitely has that secondary low forming. And I think that's a big possibility with a secondary low forming and that helping the snowfall rate's a little better. Snowfall on the RGen, 2 to 4 inches. So right now, all the models are in pretty much a good agreement. I would say 3 to 5 inches is very likely. But that is pretty much it with all the models. So now let's just make sure it's no new run. Okay. Nope. So this is the mean of the National Weather Service, at least of right now. The National Weather Service, at least seeing this with the mean of all models. It's a little bit more bullish, but 4 inches near New York, New Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania, 3 to 4 is very likely. Um, it's quite a bit of snow on the National Weather Service slash the mean of all models. So we have to see if that goes down or up. Um, but that is pretty much it with this update. I will have a snowfall map tomorrow, um, and probably a video tomorrow. So have a great night. I'll keep you guys updated. So if you have any questions, comment in below, and I'll try and get back to you as quickly as possible. So have a great night. Have a amazing day tomorrow, and see you guys tomorrow night. Bye.